An armed suspect fires a gun during the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Secret Service rushed Trump, U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, and the First Lady to safety, arresting the shooter alive as authorities now investigate whether a second shooter was involved.
Indication that this shooting could have been linked to the war in Iran.
I don't think so. But you never know. We're going to know a lot. We have the best people in the world working on it, and we're going to know a lot.
Trump states he believes he was the target of tonight's attack and confirms the suspect seems to have acted with no link to Iran, praising Secret Service for preventing what he calls his third assassination attempt. FBI confirms the attacker of the White House Correspondents' Dinner as 31-year-old Cole Thomas, a California resident who fired at Secret Service and attempted to break through the security perimeter. Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif issues a statement expressing concern over the firing incident at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, saying he's relieved that President Trump and those present were not harmed. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi is believed to return to Islamabad after his current visit to Oman, as Iran's diplomatic shuttle accelerates across the region before a planned stop in Moscow. Iranian Foreign Minister confirms Tehran has presented a framework for ending the war to Pakistan's leadership, claiming the visit was highly productive and questioning U.S. sincerity about diplomacy.
Pakistan is terrific. I think the Field Marshal is fantastic. I think the Prime Minister of Pakistan is great. And, you know, they'd like to see something happen. But we're not going to be traveling 15, 16 hours to have a meeting with people that nobody ever heard of.
U.S. President Donald Trump praises Pakistan's leadership, calling Field Marshal Asim Munir fantastic and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif great.
We canceled the trip. We have all the cards. We're not going to spend 15 hours in airplanes all the time going back and forth to be giving a document that was not good enough. And so we'll deal by telephone, and they can call us anytime they want. Again, we have all the cards. They have no military left, practically. They have no leaders left. We don't know who the leaders are.
U.S. President Trump cancels the Witkoff-Kushner diplomatic mission to Islamabad, citing Iran's position as the reason. However, Trump says the cancellation does not mean a return to war. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif holds talks with Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian, praising Tehran's peace efforts and reaffirming Pakistan's commitment to regional stability through continued diplomacy and coordination. U.S. President Donald Trump reportedly orders a New York Post reporter and technical crew in Islamabad to return home immediately, suggesting a sudden change in approach and amid active diplomacy and evolving negotiations. President Asif Ali Zardari arrives in Changsha for his third visit to China. The trip focuses on enhancing bilateral relations, signing MOUs with Chinese companies, and expanding cooperation under the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif held key talks with Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi in Islamabad, joined by Field Marshal Asim Munir and Deputy Prime Minister Ishaq Dar as Pakistan advances diplomacy on regional tensions. Pakistan and Egypt call for renewed U.S.-Iran talks to secure ceasefire as Foreign Ministers Ishaq Dar and Badr Abdullati stress de-escalation and safeguarding maritime security in the Gulf. Iran's Revolutionary Guard says controlling the Strait of Hormuz is a definitive strategy against the United States, raising fears for one of the world's most vital oil and gas transit routes. Over 1,100 Afghans flee to Qatar and face tough choices as camp closures nears, with fears over safety under Taliban rule and reports of mistreatment from former officials. Karachi's National Stadium hosts PSL Season 11's final day as Hyderabad Kingsmen face Rawalpindis at 2:30 and Islamabad United take on Multan Sultans at 7, with Lahore Qalandar's playoff survival resting on the first result. And Pakistan marks a significant step in space innovation with the launch of locally developed EO3 satellite with high-resolution imaging to support urban planning, agriculture, and disaster response.